Yeah, all gave some gave all. I like that saying. As we go into this Memorial weekend, that's what it's all about, remembering those who gave all, remembering those who have fallen in the line of service. So I thought I'd kind of talk about that a little bit today. Back when I was in high school, we were experiencing the end of the Vietnam War. And I was required to get a draft card when I turned 18. I was still in school. And I got my draft card, which was H1, which was infantry. So I knew that when I went, I was going to be in the infantry division. And most likely going to Vietnam. But as luck would have it for me, if you'd call it luck, by the time I graduated, the war was over, or considered to be over, and they were sending the troops home. I actually went down to the recruiting station. I thought at the time, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to war. I'll do that. I've got no other plans in my life. And my uncle, he'd fought in Vietnam and was actually a war hero. And I thought, man, I'll go in there and I'll do like him, man. I'll be a hero. I'll go in there and I'll fight. I don't care. I can do it. And little did I know in my naivety that a lot of the guys that preceded me were coming home in caskets. They didn't. A lot of guys lost their lives there in Vietnam, and we're not so lucky. So I was fortunate in a way that I didn't have to serve. I went down to the recruiting station anyways, and I said, I had my draft card, and I said, I know the draft is canceled, but can I still join the Army? And they said, we're not taking anybody right now because they're sending all the troops home. And, they just got too many soldiers that are coming home right now. We're not really enlisting right at this time. So I never did. I ended up getting a career with the park system here in Ohio and stuck with it, and that was my career. Now, my son, when he graduated high school, he went ahead and enlisted into the United States Army. He did it without even telling me, and when he came and told me about it, was I shocked? Not really. I was actually kind of proud of him. I thought, well, you know what? It was a choice that I was going to make when I was his age, and it didn't pan out for me. But for him, if that's what he wanted to do, I was going to back him 100% all the way. He wanted to be an Army Ranger, is what his dream was at that time. Of course, young men have big dreams. He was shipped off to Fort Benning, Georgia, where he did his boot camp. And I was grateful enough to go down there, to drive down there to Fort Benning and watch him graduate from boot camp. I know he told me that when he was in boot camp, it was kind of comical because he always is smiling, And so whenever he was in the formation or anything, he always had a smile on his face, and he was always getting, the drill sergeant doesn't like that, and was always giving him a hard time about why he was always smiling all the time, why he was so happy all the time. But he was happy in his place there. That's where he wanted to be, serving his country. He had 3 days leave upon graduation, and I told him we would go camping together, and he was pretty happy about that. Him and I would go camping. So right there in Fort Benning, Georgia, on the base, they have a campground. Little did I know how enormous Fort Benning, Georgia is. The actual military camp is enormous. I mean, huge. I bet it took me 2 hours to drive from where his graduation was to get to the campground. And we got to the campground, we set up our tent and everything, and this military truck pulled up. And the guy says, hey, did you just graduate? And my son says, yeah, I graduated. This is my dad. And he says, "Where are you going now?" And my son said, "Well, I'm going to Fort Bragg, North Carolina for paratrooper school. I'm going to start into the 82nd Airborne." And the guy said, "82nd Airborne? Oh my gosh! Come here. Let me shake your hand. Oh, that's awesome. I'm 82nd Airborne." And I was like, wow, what's going on here? He says, "Pack your tent up. Roll up those sleeping bags. I got something just for you." Well, he took us to the other side of the campground, and they had these huge fifth-wheel RV trailers lined up on campsites there. Really nice. They were all owned by the military. And he said, "Number 4 right there is all yours. Move in there, spend a day or two in there, whatever you want, and, it's on me." So that was pretty cool. It was a big upgrade from sleeping in a tent. And I enjoyed the time that I spent at Fort Benning with my son before he went off to Fort Bragg. He moved on to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He got his training there, and the paratrooper school, became an 82nd Airborne paratrooper. And almost immediately he was shipped to Iraq for Operation Iraqi Freedom. He did active duty there. He was on a mortar squad. Now, fortunately, my son came back basically in one piece. He's got a Purple Heart. He did take some shrapnel, and he caught a round in his shoulder. But I was very, very thankful to God that he came home. But while he was there serving our country, he lost some of his good friends, and it was very, very hard for him to deal with, the things that he had to go through there. He came home with some post-traumatic stress, and I can understand why after I saw everything that he went through. My son's, when he first came home, he actually kind of told me in detail about what happened there. And ever since then, he's never spoken about it again. And I think that's the way most of the guys are that have served active duty. It's not something they like to sit down and talk about unless they're with their comrades who have also served with them. But he lost some of his best friends there, and it was a miserable way to die, but they died honorably, and they died serving their country for the best that they could. So my heart goes out to those of you who have lost loved ones in the military, those of you who have served and lost your friends. My honor goes to them, and we remember them on this Memorial Weekend. It looks like it's going to be a hot weekend. We're just starting into Saturday here. Monday, I guess, is the big day that everybody celebrates. Most of the people that celebrate the holiday, they don't even consider, what Memorial Day is for. They're more into their family picnics, going boating, maybe spending the weekend at a campground, and just enjoying a lot of food and celebrating. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But we do need to remember those that have served our country and those that have fallen. I'm looking forward to Monday, which, as of the posting of this video, will be tomorrow. I'm going over to my son's. I'm so proud of that kid. He's got a family of his own now. He's got 2 daughters and a son, which are my grandkids, obviously. And he just finished building this massive log home. And I'm so proud of him. I mean, the kid, he's got a lot of ambition. Probably more than I've ever had. And that means the world to me to see him doing so well considering everything that he's been through. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing him and his family, and they're expecting a big crowd there. All the a bunch of other relatives will be there, in-laws and outlaws, and everybody in between, family and friends, and lots of food. And that's what I'm all about, the good food. So Thanks for keeping Val and I in your prayers. I just went through a whole week of being really sick with a cold. No, it wasn't the pandemic. I was, when you go into the doctor and you tell them you got a cold, the first thing oh my gosh, we got to test you for the COVID. So yeah, they tested me and came up negative. They tested V, she came up negative. Pray for her though. She's still struggling with this cold, and she's got it hard enough anyways, battling this cancer, and this cold has really beat her down. So lots of coughing, and your chest hurts from coughing so hard, and your nose is raw from blowing your nose. I mean, you've all been there before. So appreciate the prayers and the concerns. Thanks for watching the video today, cats. If you liked it, well, whether you liked it or not, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Right now, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. You want to come back and see more, because I'm going to be here for a while. I'll keep coming back and bringing you the best that I can. Till next time, cats, ride hard and die free.